All right, today we are diving deep into one of the most incredible, most ambitious concepts I have ever come across, the 6D Ocean City. And let me tell you, this isn't just about building a new place to live. No, this is a blueprint for a whole new kind of civilization, one that's literally engineered to end scarcity for good. Think about that for a second. This one sentence, this is the key that unlocks the whole vision. For all of human history, we've been playing the game on a pretty small piece of the board. Right? Land. It dictates everything, our resources, our space, our potential. But what if that was just the tutorial level? What if the other 71% of our planet, the oceans, weren't an obstacle, but the foundation for our entire future? So here's the crucial point. This project isn't about building a bigger, fancier city. It's about designing a completely new operating system for humanity. The core idea is to engineer an infrastructure that makes things we struggle with today, like poverty and resource wars, totally obsolete by its very design. And that really gets to the heart of the whole mission. The minds behind this concept are posing a wild idea, that global poverty isn't some moral failing or an economic rule we just have to accept. They see it as an engineering problem, a problem of bottlenecks in the supply chain that can be solved if you just build the right machine. And that machine? Well, it's this megastructure. Okay, so why call it 6D? Because this thing goes way beyond the three spatial dimensions we're used to. It's designed as a living system, one that's meant to evolve all on its own. It's got these other dimensions baked in, like self-construction, self-repair, and self-expansion. So it's not a static building at all. It's more like a dynamic thinking organism that adapts and grows. The whole post-scarcity engine runs on just three things. Three infinite inputs. You've got ocean water, which is an endless source of minerals and materials. You've got sunlight, a practically limitless source of energy. And you've got automation, a workforce that never gets tired. You combine those three, and what do you get? A system that can produce basically everything humanity needs forever.
Which brings us to the platform itself, the ocean. See, the ocean isn't just the location for this city. It's the quarry, it's the factory, and it's the power plant all rolled into one. It is literally the only place on Earth that has the scale and the raw resources needed for a project this massive. And this is where it gets really clever. The city literally builds itself out of the ocean. Autonomous subs harvest sand to create the stuff called silica hyperfoam. They process minerals right from the seawater into something called oceancrete, which is stronger than steel and won't corrode. It even creates its own graphene skin from salt water. You see what this means? It completely eliminates the need for mining on land and all those complex global supply chains. Now, this city isn't flat. It's designed as a complete ecosystem. Way down, deep underwater, you have the industrial engines doing all the heavy lifting. Then at the surface, that's where people actually live and work. And then reaching up into the sky, you have systems that are grabbing solar power and even pulling fresh water right out of the clouds. It's integrated with its environment on every single level. Okay, so now for the part that honestly feels like magic. How does all this get built? This is where the autonomous workforce comes in. We're talking about an ecosystem of robots that never sleeps, never gets tired, and is constantly, endlessly expanding the city. I just love this quote. It's such a powerful way to reframe automation, isn't it? In this model, robots aren't coming for your job. They're taking on the burdens that create scarcity in the first place. They handle all the dangerous, the repetitive, and the logistical work, which frees up all of humanity to focus on things like creativity, exploration, and building culture. And get this, these robots aren't just building, they're learning. The whole structure is a self-improving organism. It's constantly collecting data on its own performance, using AI to find better ways to do things, and then it redesigns itself and prints new, upgraded robots to do the work even better. It literally evolves in real time. This right here is the concept that changes the entire game. Because every new section of the city, every new robot that gets built, can then help build more of itself. The growth isn't just steady, it's exponential. The city can expand way faster than population growth, kind of like a coral reef building a whole new continent out on the ocean. So, we've talked about the mind-bending engineering, but what would it actually feel like to live in a place like this? Let's take a look at the human experience in this new world. Okay, housing. It all starts here with what they call the sleeping pod. And it's not just a room, not just a shelter. It's described as a wellness machine. It uses AI to optimize your sleep, it cools the climate with seawater, and it's engineered for perfect recovery. In this world, shelter isn't something you struggle for. It's a birthright, and it's designed to help you flourish. And getting around? Totally different. I want you to just imagine a city with zero traffic. Zero. Movement is silent, it's effortless, it's seamless. You could glide between neighborhoods on these quiet rail loops, cross huge distances on maglev rings that float over the water, or maybe take a skypod up to a floating garden. They call it a zero-friction city. This quote from one of the conceptual residents just perfectly captures the feeling they're going for. I mean, when you remove the daily stress of traffic, of pollution, of constant noise, what's left? The whole environment, from the silent transport to the clean air, is engineered to create this constant sense of peace and well-being. A civilization designed for serenity. All right, now let's zoom all the way out to the biggest idea of all. When you actually remove the struggle for basic survival, what happens to society itself? How do you govern people? What does an economy even look like? This comparison just lays it all out in the starkest terms. Our societies today are built around managing scarcity, right? That leads to competition, to mandatory labor. But in an abundant society, the goal shifts from just surviving to truly flourishing. Work becomes optional, and governance isn't about taxes and rent, it's about nurturing culture and meaning. And this right here, this is the foundational principle of the whole thing. The city's founding document literally states that things like water, food, shelter, energy, healthcare, they are guaranteed for every single person. They aren't things you have to earn. They're the stable platform you're given, so you can go out and build a meaningful life. So what replaces money? Well, it's a system based on contribution and reputation. You contribute your skills, your passions, wherever you feel they'll be most meaningful. Your reputation for being kind, for being creative, for solving problems, that becomes your new social capital. The economy is no longer about survival. It's about getting access to the tools you need to create and explore. Ultimately, the 6D Ocean City is this profound challenge to our own perceived limits. It suggests that the resources for a thriving, abundant world for everyone, they've been here all along. In the sun, in the water, in our own ingenuity. The only thing we ever really lacked was the imagination to put it all together. Which leaves us with a final question. If we could actually build this, what else becomes possible?